Zendaya is an undisputed A-list powerhouse, a multi-million-dollar box office draw, and the highest-paid black actress in television history. But before the prestige awards and the global acclaim, she was aggressively positioned by the Disney machine to become America's next dominant pop superstar. Her debut track went multi-platinum, top-tier producers lined up for her sophomore album, and Republic Records was actively engineering a massive mainstream rollout. Then, without a single official statement, the music stopped completely. A heavily promoted lead single suddenly stalled, an already filmed music video vanished into label vaults, and an entire album rollout was quietly abandoned overnight. While public discourse frames this as a clean, effortless pivot towards cinema, the receipts tell a completely different story. Behind closed doors, Zendaya was navigating a toxic studio clash, an industry blackout, and a high-stakes celebrity feud that made her walk away from millions. Tonight, we examine the timeline, the shelved footage, and the real reason Hollywood swept her music career under the rug. Welcome back to the channel. To understand how Zendaya almost became a full-time pop star, you have to look at the Disney Channel assembly line back in 2010. The playbook was brutally simple. You land a hit sitcom like Shake It Up, throw on the neon tutus, and hand your music rights straight over to Hollywood Records through predatory 360 deals. At first, the machine seemed to work like a charm. In 2013, her breakout single Replay dropped, eventually hitting triple platinum and racking up hundreds of millions of streams. But behind the glossy promotional tours, the label was in panic mode. They had no idea how to market a biracial teen who wanted smooth R&B vibes instead of sugary bubblegum tracks. Her debut album flopped at number 51 on the Billboard 200, selling a measly 7,000 copies. Zendaya was already checked out, but the real breaking point wasn't bad sales. It was an excruciating live television disaster that broke her confidence completely. In September 2013, Zendaya booked what was supposed to be her big mainstream breakthrough on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. For any rising teen star, that couch is the golden ticket. Instead, the performance unraveled into a total technical and vocal train wreck. Her in-ear monitors cut out, wrecking her pitch and leaving her completely exposed on national television. Critics and ruthless internet comment sections tore her apart, questioning if she had any real vocal chops without heavy studio auto-tune. Look, Zendaya was never trying to be a vocal powerhouse like Whitney Houston, and she never claimed to be. But that level of public humiliation leaves a mark. Years later, she admitted that single appearance triggered severe, paralyzing stage anxiety that only hit when she had to sing live. Holding a microphone in front of an audience suddenly felt terrifying. That traumatic set triggered complete radio silence, wiping her off the music map for 3 entire years between 2013 and 2016. During this quiet period, her pivot away from the radio grind was quietly architected by image architect Law Roach, who began transforming Zendaya into an untouchable red carpet fashion icon to build real cultural capital outside the charts. But while casual fans assumed she was just busy shooting sitcoms, her team was quietly setting up a secret collaboration with one of the most volatile hitmakers in pop music. By early 2015, Zendaya's team knew the bubblegum Disney routine was dead in the water. If she wanted real staying power, she needed heavy industry backing and a total sonic makeover. That's when Republic Records stepped in for a high-profile joint deal with Hollywood Records, bringing in legendary hitmaker Timbaland. The hype was through the roof. Timbaland told reporters flat out that he was shaping her into his next protege, drawing heavy comparisons to his classic work with Aaliyah. To lock in that smooth, grown-up aesthetic, they cooked up a comeback single called Something New, built around a sample of TLC's classic Creep. Then came the calculated label switch-up. The song originally featured R&B royalty Babyface, but executives swapped him out for Chris Brown. On paper, it looked like a guaranteed chart topper. Zendaya hit the radio promo rounds, the label blew through massive budgets on choreography and radio deals, and a lavish music video with TLC's T-Boz was officially shot and locked in the can. Everything was lined up for a massive era, until a single tweet destroyed the entire multi-million-dollar rollout in less than 24 hours. In March 2016, the internet blew up over a nasty public scandal involving singer Kehlani. An intimate photo leaked online, and the internet immediately piled on, falsely accusing Kehlani of cheating on NBA star Kyrie Irving. The digital dogpile got so brutal that Kalani tragically attempted to take her own life. Instead of reading the room or showing basic human decency, Chris Brown jumped on Twitter with an unhinged rant, publicly mocking Kalani's suicide attempt and writing it off as sympathy bait. For Zendaya, this wasn't just messy internet drama, it was deeply personal. Zendaya and Kalani went way back in the Oakland youth music scene, running in the exact same circles long before the fame. When Brown crossed that line, internet culture witnessed an instant revolt. Female celebs started cutting ties, and Zendaya hit the unfollow button on Chris Brown for everyone to see. It was a loud, deliberate line in the sand. How could someone building a wholesome, empowering brand share a screen in a sexy music video with a guy publicly bullying her childhood friend? Overnight, the promo stopped dead. The single flatlined at number 93 on the Billboard Hot 100, and that expensive music video was permanently locked in the vault. Looking back at that turning point, would Zendaya's brand have survived if she had ignored Chris Brown's behavior and dropped that music video anyway? It feels like one of the rarest moments where an artist chose morals over a guaranteed hit, and it raises the question of whether that move was pure integrity or a calculated PR rescue. The sudden death of the Something New rollout sent shockwaves through the industry. Millions had already been poured into production and high-fashion styling, yet the official video completely disappeared. Even 6 years later in 2022, when Chris Brown went online begging for the shelved video to finally see the light of day, Zendaya gave him dead silence. If you love deep dives that pull back the curtain on Hollywood's messiest paper trails, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because the legal side gets even crazier. While most casual listeners thought the Chris Brown drama was the only reason she walked, the legal mess behind closed doors was way worse. Disney's standard record deals aren't just contracts, they are golden handcuffs. Every dollar from touring, merch, and master rights goes straight back to the machine, leaving the artist with zero creative leverage. Industry insiders and legal analysts widely believe Zendaya still technically owed the label studio albums under that original paperwork. By completely freezing her output as a solo pop act, she effectively starved the machine trying to exploit her. The pop game demands total vulnerability, constant chart anxiety, and 24/7 public exposure. For someone who wanted mental peace and actual creative control, staying on that treadmill was a losing battle. Her move to Hollywood wasn't just an audition run, it was the ultimate legal loophole and power move. By booking major cinematic roles in HBO's Euphoria, Zendaya bypassed standard record label chokeholds entirely. She proved she could sing strictly on studio-backed soundtracks, bagged 2 Primetime Emmy nominations for Outstanding Original Music and Lyrics, and perform at Coachella with Labyrinth, all without handing Hollywood Records a single dime of solo album revenue. In a sit-down with director Sam Levinson, Zendaya broke down the core difference between the two worlds. As an actress, you get to hide behind a character, keeping your privacy and personal boundaries intact. As a pop star, your private life, heartbreaks, and personal trauma are the product you're forced to sell every day. She realized Hollywood gave her real longevity, industry respect, and total creative control. She didn't fail at the pop star game. She realized it was rigged and built herself a much bigger empire instead. Which brings us to the bigger picture. When you look at peers like Selena Gomez or Miley Cyrus, who spent over a decade under the ruthless microscope of pop culture, did Zendaya outsmart the entire Hollywood machine by walking away before it could swallow her whole? Zendaya's retreat from the recording studio is the ultimate reality check for the modern entertainment machine. In an era where rising stars are expected to monetize every ounce of their personal trauma just to keep a single on the charts, she chose complete artistic control and privacy over cheap, manufactured relevancy. The music business wanted a disposable pop product, but she built an untouchable Hollywood brand on her own terms. Was walking away from solo music a costly sacrifice of her pop potential, or the single smartest business maneuver a former Disney star has ever pulled off? Drop your thoughts below, leave a like, and I will see you in the next one.